So, are field hospitals something you really need, or can you get away with treating it like an old gallon of milk in the fridge and forget about it until it explodes, causing a disgusting mess so bad that I wouldn't even do a video on it? So, most people that play majors like Italy, Japan, UK, USA, and Germany will probably say no. However, field hospitals, if used correctly even for the United States, can help you get major bonuses that might actually be the single difference between losing and winning wars. Now, for people who don't know what field hospitals really do, they give pretty big bonuses to trickleback and stopping XP loss. Trickleback is the percentage of troops lost in combat that essentially go back to your manpower. Or if you don't know, that just means that the guys that are able to survive the combat from your fights are pretty much just wounded, and then they get sent back home to recover and they get added back into your manpower pool. So if you lose, say, 20 guys in a fight, and then you get to keep 50% from trickleback, 50% of those guys, when they die, will actually be sent back into your manpower, so you can use those to pretty much resupply and get reinforcements to your front line. Now I have two different saves going on in the background. The first one I'm showing you guys is where I declared war on Poland, turned the AI off with the base German division templates. I had no field hospitals in my units whatsoever, and I only fought until April 1st, where you can see I suffered quite a bit of losses. The second one that's going on in the background now was under the exact same situation, except I added field hospitals. As you can see, I took much less losses than I would have without the field hospitals for some reason. And the only reason I say for some reason is it should only be like 10 or 20% less, but so far in the 5 different tests I've done, it's always the same thing where I'm suffering around half of the losses. Now let's talk about the XP loss side of things. When troops go into combat in Hearts of Iron 4, if they take too many losses due to low breakthrough or very heavily defended units, the troops will actually lose XP since fresh troops are being sent to fill the units. So you may start with veteran divisions, but as the war lasts a long time and you keep sending your guys across, say, a river into a very fortified position and they don't win, you're going to take heavy losses, which means your troops are going to lose pretty much their rank and their XP quickly, and field hospitals help stop that. Now you may be wondering why you would need a field hospital to help stop XP loss. For people who are new to Hearts of Iron and really don't understand this, or if you're an older player and you know this, if you send troops into combat and they start dying and then the fresh troops come in to resupply them, your XP goes down. Now, the very bad part about that is when your XP goes down, you either have two penalties. You have one penalty if your XP goes under the normal regular rank and goes down to rookie, and then once you actually get down there, it's negative 25% combat. So if you have 1,000 attack, your negative 25% will pull it down to 750. Or if you're over just the trained rank, and you actually get to keep your XP, which is why I recommend field hospitals for one thing, the longer they fight and they keep a hold of that XP if they're winning, then you're going to be able to get huge bonuses because you can get up to a 25% bonus into combat. Alright, so now that you guys know what field hospitals do and how trickleback and XP loss works, let's figure out if it's really worth it. When deciding if field hospitals are needed for your army, you need to think about 4 things. 1. How much support equipment is needed. 2. The manpower. 3. Who will you be fighting? And 4. Are you going to get bogged down? First, support equipment, if it's being used by majors, normally requires a lot of production, especially if it's going to be used for every single division in your army, and that's going to possibly cost more than it's worth just to save your XP and manpower. So for example, you might have 300 divisions as Germany, and if it's like 100 support equipment per division and you're just using 20 wits and all that and you're trying to put it into every single troop, that might not be the greatest idea. 2, how much manpower do you have, and do you need to get back those losses so badly that if you don't, you're going to pretty much suffer and then you're going to die. So you really need to think about that. If you're a minor nation, are you going to be okay in the manpower side of things? Like for example, are you playing a multiplayer game as Ethiopia and you really don't need that much extra manpower because you can just spam divisions out for Italy and then the Germans and the Italians are going to be mostly protecting you? Or B, are you going to be a major and you have way more than enough manpower, like say for example the Soviet Union, to the point where you don't even need to worry about the infantry and the manpower losses? 3, are you going to be fighting someone with a really good army like the United States, Germany, Russia? Is it in multiplayer? Are you going to be fighting a small country like Bulgaria, the Philippines? It's a bunch of different things really go into trying to decide that. For example, if you're the United States and you're going to be fighting Germany, for example, You might want some field hospitals for some units because of the simple fact that if you're going to be going in on D-Day, if you're the United States, you're going to have to really worry about if they've got German tanks over there. Are they going to be trying to attack you? Are you going to be able to actually get a port? Are you going to be trying to need to save as much XP as possible if you have your guys ranked as veterans? It's really up to you in that case. And 4, are you going to possibly get in a stalemate that's going to last for years? Now, something I do as a rule of thumb is if I answer yes to any 3 of those questions or instances, you probably need field hospitals. However, don't go nuts with them. Something I like to do as Germany, and it's even worked out great as the United States, is to add field hospitals to only units that are going to be in the offensive combat roles. So those would be mostly like tank divisions, motorized divisions, and artillery divisions that will be mostly attacking, and since that's because those guys are going to be the ones attacking, they're going to be ones taking the most casualties. And also, you want to stop as much XP loss as possible in case they start losing if they get to veteran rank or anything higher than that. So what is my final opinion? Should they be used for divisions that are either attacking or whatever? If you're a small nation with limited manpower like Denmark, Manchukuo, really any nation that doesn't have a lot of spare troops, you need field hospitals. Another really important thing is if you're a major power and you don't need field hospitals, it's a really good idea to think about adding them just exclusively to your divisions that have extra support slots available that are going to be on the offensive. Because I've had instances where I've had field hospitals in certain divisions like tank divisions as Germany and multiplayer, and when they start losing, they keep a hold of their XP, but not too crazy. It's only like 20 or 30% they get to keep, but that 20 or 30% has actually held them in the fight long enough that their XP is still there for the extra 25 to 75% modifiers in combat. Yes, you can get up to a plus 75% modifier in combat if you do it correctly. So guys, one last time, remember, when deciding if you need field hospitals, look at 4 things. 1, is the support equipment you're going to need going to be worth it? 2, is your manpower going to need field hospitals and every man possible? 3, who are you going to be fighting? 4, are you going to be bogged down for a couple years in combat and you need to save as much XP and troops as possible? Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Stay awesome.